Hello everyone and welcome. I'm very happy to finally kick off my series where I will share my opinions about games available on the PlayStation Now service. These videos will be overviews where I share my thoughts coupled along with some gameplay footage to help people decide if that particular game is worth their time. Now let's get right into today's game, that is Star Wars Racer Revenge.
So tune in for the fastest sport in the galaxy. Pod racing, back with a vengeance.
The game was developed by Rainbow Studios, most known for their MX vs ATV games, and was released in 2002. It's the sequel to Star Wars Episode 1 Racer that was exclusive on the Nintendo 64 but is now available on multiple platforms including the PS4. Racer Revenge is a PS2 game that has been ported to PS4 and is therefore available for download through PS Now and also purchasable on the PlayStation Store. Unsurprisingly, this game is all about pod racing. If you've seen the movie Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, you recognize pod racing from that one scene you suspected all along was there partly to make racing video games. It's basically a sci-fi fantasy version of dog sled racing where your pod is pulled by two or more hovering engines connected with power couplings. It's actually a really cool gimmicky version of hovercraft racing even after all these years. There actually is a story here too. Sebulba is angry, not only because he's got legs where his arms are supposed to be, but also because he lost to young Anakin Skywalker at Boonta Eve and therefore went underground for 8 years, hiding away from the pod racing scene. Now he's back again to enact his revenge on Anakin. Okay, it might not be a lot of story here, but any sort of narrative is usually a bonus in these types of games, so it's a welcome addition. The narrator also adds a bit to the immersion in the beginning of each race. He talks about the track itself, but also gives you a little bit of trivia related to the Star Wars lore.
It's been almost 8 years since Anakin Skywalker's incredible upset over the past champion, Sebulba. Best of luck to the racers, and our condolences to the families of the unlucky ones.
It's a really nice touch. So how does the game play? You can steer, accelerate and brake like you can in any racing game. You have probably also seen the rest of the mechanics in other games as well, but then again this game is almost 20 years old. By holding R1 you perform a power slide that works like a drift. By holding R2 you can boost for a limited time, increase your speed, but hold it for too long and you blow yourself up. Lastly, you can hold L2 to repair your craft, but your speed is reduced while you do it. From the main menu you have single play, versus mode and tournament mode to choose from. In single play you can set up your own race with any racer or track you've unlocked, and versus mode is the place to be if you want to beat the Bantha Poodoo out of someone, as stated by the game itself. Chances are you'll spend most of your time in tournament mode since it's here you unlock new tracks and racers. There's actually quite a few characters to choose from the get-go and almost as many to unlock. Each of the characters has their own career. If you finish at first, second or third position in a set number of races you get a trophy and advance to the next circuit. You also get a currency called True Goods by finishing at the top positions. Between races you exchange True Goods for upgrades on your pod racer at Watto's workshop. Watto then uses his earnings to increase the quality of life for the slaves he owns. At least that's what I choose to believe. But let's not get too political. The Outer Rim has always been a haven for lawlessness after all. Allow me instead to tell you about the best mechanic in the game, called Watto's Bribe. Even though you get a set number of True Goods after each race depending on your position, you can increase that amount by KOing other racers, which you do by slamming into them.
Oh, Rachel, taking a beating out there.
The more chaos you get, the greater the percentage increase. This creates a strategy aspect in every race. Should you slow down to get that final hit for the KO, at the same time risking the faster racers pulling away in the lead?
Ben Bardanaros is out of the race.
Getting a high amount of chaos and a top finishing position is crucial, since it's the only way of maximizing your craft's stats in tournament mode. In this version, the graphics are upscaled compared to the original PS2 version, but obviously it won't be the prettiest game you play this year. The pod racers themselves looks great though, as does the animations of the characters as they walk into the view during the selection screen. Also, the low polygon count can't hide the fact that there is some solid level design here. The tracks are very visually varied, with races taking place on known planets like Tatooine, Solost and Mon Calamari. You will also find plenty of alternate routes and the occasional hidden shortcut. What really stands out in my opinion is the sound design. From the humming of the engines just before a race starts, to the various alien insults the characters throw at each other. Also, the aforementioned narrator makes regular callouts about things happening on the track using your chosen characters and your opponent's names.
Oh, and Odie Mandrill bites the dust.
This definitely adds to the personality of the versatile cast.
That's gonna do it for Odie Mandrill.
Star Wars Racer Revenge might come off as simplistic, and gameplay-wise it can't really compete with other big arcade racers like Wipeout Omega Collection and Crash Team Racing. However, the What to Survive mechanic adds the right amount of challenge, and coupled with all the Star Wars fan service adds up to a surprisingly rich experience, even after 2 decades. If you're a Star Wars fan who likes racing games, I think you should give the game a try. Especially if you're a PS Now subscriber or when the game is on sale on PSN.
For all your collision and repair needs, check out Watto's Repair Bay.
That was all for my thoughts on Star Wars Racer Revenge. If you liked this video, consider subscribing, as this series of PS Now game overviews will continue. You're also more than welcome to leave a comment with a suggestion on which game you want me to cover in the future. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Coming Clean, and I will see you next time. Take care!